good. So the first one is my Geri, yeah? So like I say, try and keep that front knee still. Try and keep that upper body still on the first one, yeah? So I shouldn't be able to tell whether you're stepping backwards or whether you're stepping forward from your technique alone, yeah, guys? So really trying to have control of that. Usual thing is good knee lift, using the core, really focusing on that hamstring contraction to get that good snapback. And also thinking about, like we're talking about this a lot recently, and thinking about that inner thigh muscle squeeze, yeah? So, like, not just pushing that right hip forward, but really thinking about closing in to get that knee lift, which sends that kick in, yeah? So, my Geri step back, my Geri forward. Bench! Good. Then, of course, exactly the same thing with the knee lift on the yoke again, yeah? So, the my Geri doesn't change, then that good contraction, that good rotation, and send that hip in. Just because this is a thrust, don't let it drop, yeah? Hold for a split second, then back sharply and down. One quick point about the rotation, and it'll be the same on the wash, Geri. As much as you rotate out, when you go down, make sure you don't leave that foot behind you. So make sure as you recover the kick, be rotating back. My going back, yo go. Hey! So same points, make sure you have that good recovery, especially with the wash. Make sure, like as we've said often, you could of course bring that knee like straight forward for kumite, but for our Kion, make sure we're working on the classic technique where we're bringing that knee to the side. So make sure it's fully coming round, hit with the ball of the foot to the Kion. My getting back, wash getting it. Ta! With the Ushiro Geri, even though it's a spinning technique, as we often talk about, even though it is spinning, the feeling will still be straight, yeah? So as soon as I allow something to bend, something to kick out, this foot to come out, then it becomes like circular, yeah? And you'll lose your balance, you'll lose power, and you'll lose speed. So try and make sure everything is compact, and then directly in there. Using that front foot to ground yourself as your center of gravity, yeah? So that is remaining, then that is enabling you to go forward fast. And the final point, which again we can work on the pads, the feeling is as soon as this foot is completed, you're using that to launch into the next one. Yeah? Ready, fast. My game, ready. Hey! So first thing is confidence. Yeah, even though it's a spin, it's a different technique. It's a major part of our syllabus from like 4Q onwards, yeah, so we've got to be able to do it, okay? Hopefully hitting the pads will help. As we often talk about with Ushiro Geri, first thing to think about is the line, yeah? So for instance, if I'm trying to kick Ren, if I line my front foot up with Ren's back foot, for instance, and I go to spin, that straight line is taking me past, yeah, which is when you're either going to overspin and less into technique or start to hook, which is a different thing, yeah? So the first thing, I like to say, I want you to obviously kick, do it if you like, then kick hard and fast, but I want you to kick strong, yeah? Ushiro Geri is one of those where it's sort of like, obviously it's a risky technique because you're turning back, but it's so powerful it can make up for it, yeah? So I don't want you to rush, I want you to get your line. As we said, everything is compact. So when you spin, don't allow this foot to come out. Yeah, almost think knee to knee, trying to send it in a straight line. Yeah, at the moment of impact, both hips are going back. Yeah, don't over rotate and make it a turning yoke getting kokomi. Again, if it was kumite, whatever. Yeah, like if that's how you land this kick, cool. But the pure technique is both hips back, both hips and heel going into the targets, okay? So, like I say, line up, upper body relaxed. As you turn, your upper body doesn't shake. Upright, 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 and then a straight line back with that heel, okay? So, relax and in, okay? Thank you, Ren. I think, like we often talk about this, yeah, with kicks like my Geri, where you don't want that. Like, you don't want this to be like the maximum extension because then, like, if I wanted to put anything into it, like my leg is straight, I'd have to start leaning to make impact here. I think a lot of you are starting too far away. So, like, you're here and then you're just, like, you may be touching, but it's almost like you're falling into it. At the point of impact, you want to be in this position. So, like, you'd still have that drive left, yeah? So make sure when you are starting, you're in a position where you're able to give it some. Yeah, that's good. So back to what we were doing with Keon, yeah? So now we're going to make it a combination. My game. Yeah? The feeling is, again, like kick and back as soon as that touches, kick and forward. Yeah? So as we were sort of saying in Keon, I don't want there to be a change of technique between the kick back and forward. Yeah? So just from watching, I should be able to tell, oh, they're stepping forward, oh, they're stepping back. Obviously, you will a bit. Yeah, try to minimize it. Like that's still, they're still relaxed, the back relaxed, and forward. As I said, as soon as that foot touches, that's the start of the second one. Okay, next one. My getting into the yoko. Okay, so this one is slightly different. Yeah, so because the distance is going to be slightly different. Yeah, with the my getting both hips. With the yoko, that rotation in the single hip going in, so the range is slightly longer, yeah? So you need to take that into consideration. So the same thing, make sure you are grounded if you need a slight backwards, yeah? What some of you were starting to do, particularly on the second kick, was it's starting to come a bit of a swing, yeah, where perhaps fatigue is settling in, but like that's really to the detriment of the kick, yeah? Make sure you have that good chamber. It makes the kick stronger, yeah, that's not going to be, it just makes the kick stronger, yeah, so make sure after that front kick, getting that good knee lift, that good pivot, edge of the foot, and driving in, yeah, as we were saying, yeah, so a few of you in the yoke are getting one, like, don't neglect the my Gary where you're thinking about the second kick, yeah, the first kick is still paramount, yeah, the first kick is still important, you just use it to set up the second one, yeah? Make sure you have, on the wash, make sure you have that good rotation. As we've said before, really, really important, the hip doesn't come on the knee, and then the kick is on its own, yeah? You need to make sure that hip is coming in with impact, yeah? Remember, your target is the person holding the pad, not the pad, yeah? You're not trying to hit the surface, you're trying to go through. Yeah, and again, like one of the things we're working on is that idea of that plyometric bounce. Yeah, so as soon as my foot finishes, we're going into the next one. Yeah, cool, good. Okay, guys, last one. This time, just because you will get dizzy, you're only going to do 5. Yeah, really, really important now. As we said when we were practicing the Ushiro Geri on its own, where your front foot is really important, yeah? So if you just sort of put it wherever for the my Geri, you're really gonna hinder your Ushiro Geri, yeah? So make sure, again, your position is right to not only deliver the good my Geri, but the good Ushiro Geri afterwards, but also using this to ground yourself, yeah? So making sure, like, you're not sort of losing yourself in controlled touch, and then drive. Yes. Bye. Good. Just one. Just one quick point here. So Dave Sensei's just asked, you know, well, surely if you move your foot across, they're going to see you coming as like a telegraph, yeah. Which of course it would be. The only thing I'd say to that is like, again, if it's your freestyle or your sparring or something, it's very rare that you're going to be so static that like you're just going to be moving, so I could just move in nice, like red, and just as part of my movement, I can just be touching that foot across to where it needs to be to send the kick in, yeah. So you can just disguise it as part of your movements. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you say, it's very rare that like whether it's competition sparring or duathlon or just like the freestyle we do in the dojo, yeah, or it's just a free for all. It's very rare that I'm just going to be stood completely still and move that front foot, which of course Ren would see coming. But even if I'm just light on my toes, I can be just shifting that foot where it needs to be to send the kick into the side. So, any other questions? Sweet. Demonstration. So we've done this before, you guys. So this the retreats, yes, and the idea is Ren is going to be slowly pushing forward, and I'm just going to be moving back whichever kick I want. Ren shouldn't be stopping moving. The idea is that I'm trying to push Ren back with my kicks until I get to the end. Okay? Cool. Guys, if Ren is not moving forward, I'm not kicking. Ren shouldn't be waiting for me to be in a good position. Yeah? The idea is Ren is constantly pushing and I'm having to move in such a way that, so you're constantly on the move. Yeah, Ren isn't shifting forward, letting me kick, shifting forward, letting me kick. Ren is just marching forward. Yeah? Start again, guys.